stuff, and I just thought I'd just go through the bull and the bear, because these trainings are going to be covering some of this stuff as well, which is really good for people to know and understand the business. So when I first started, by the way, this took me quite a while to get my head around it. If I can sort of perhaps speed that process up for you, it will help. So the confusion when I first started was let me just make sure that this is, I'm going to jump on just on another screen and then come back to this one, because otherwise I can time out. Right, okay, yeah, the confusion often is the fact that when you join, everyone becomes a bear member, which means you're earning from the daily trading and also the force matrix. But when you start going and introducing people, that's where it starts to become a bit confusing, because you're told that you can then earn 400%. And that was the bit I couldn't get my head around. And so the other thing is this, people cap out sometimes because they don't realize certain aspects of the business. So I thought I'd just go through this. So when you first start, as I said, everyone is a bear member, and you get your money as a bear member from the daily trading and the force matrix. So if you are everyone is positioned in the matrix, and if you're in an active team, there will be team members that will be positioned underneath you, and you can earn commissions off those. Now, initially, it won't be very much, but over time, that can build up to be quite a significant amount of money. In fact, I've got people in my own organization that literally, they were in the business for sort of 8-9 months before they actually started building their business, and then they suddenly realized that they were missing out on all these commissions from the matrix. And as soon as they started building or upgrading their accounts, they were picking up more and more money from that. So basically, everyone starts off here, and as the trading returns come in each week, you'll see this percentage go up and up. So when you first start, this is a brand new account. I just set it up just to show people, and as you can see right now, it's showing as 0 because there's been no money earned from this account at all yet. But over time, as the trading returns come in, you'll see this little dial here will start moving up, and you'll see this percentage go up, 2%, 1%, 3%, 5%, etc. over time. And if there's any matrix commissions coming in, you'll see this percentage coming up as well. Now, basically, as a bear member, you get 2 times the value of your trade contract back. So in this case, $300 contract, you'll get $600 back, and that contract will complete. Now, remember, ideally, you don't want your contract to complete, because if you can, if you want to, you can upgrade to the next level up, the $500 contract. And if you withdraw your money before that happens, then the company allows you to upgrade to the next level up by just paying the difference, in that case, $200. If you let a contract complete, then you have to pay the full price for the contract. So ideally, if your game plan, and most people is to upgrade and upgrade and upgrade over time, then what you want to do is make sure that you're not capping out and upgrading before that happens. So there are 2 things you need to look at: the percentage here, where that's getting to, and also your account balance. Again, what you're looking for, if you're looking to get to the 100K contract as quickly as possible, you want to upgrade as soon as you possibly can when the money is available. So in this instance, you remember you've always got to allow for the 20% withdrawal fee. If you, for example, this gets to $200, that wouldn't be enough. You have to allow for the 20% withdrawal fee. So you're looking to have $250 in here before you can withdraw your money and then enable you to upgrade to the $500 contract. I actually recommend having a little bit more, $210, because by the time you've withdrawn the money, that leaves $208 in your wallet by the time the 20% is taken, and that little extra $8 there is gives you enough just to cover wallet fees, etc. when you come in and buy the $500 contract. So that's if you are a bear member. Now, if you start introducing people, then that opens up a new door. There is an additional, and this is the key, separate 200% that you can earn from here as well. And if you are taking the business seriously and introducing people and building a team, what you'll see is that this bull side here will far outstrip your bear side, because that is the way to really accelerate your business. You know, being a passive member is great, but it's going to take you quite a while to get up to the 100K contract. A tiny fraction of the time it would take you in a pension, by the way, just so to be clear on that. So it's still a fantastic deal at the end of the day, but it's still going to take you longer. And if you can go out there and refer people and build a team, which of course is what this call is all about, then you can massively accelerate that process by earning both fast starts and unilevel commissions. Now the fast starts are where it all starts, because when you're starting off, if you can introduce as many people as you can, those fast starts are coming in, and that's very rapidly accelerating your upgrade ability, because you only need $250, and if you bring in someone for $300, there's $45 there. So if someone comes in a $500, even a $1,000 contract, you can be very quickly getting up there. I mean, Ray, for example, he's only been in the business, he hasn't even been in the business a month. He's already an executive in the business. He's actually on his way to going manager. But he's already upgrading to the 5K contract in just a month because of the people that he's bringing into the business. So this is where you can really accelerate your process. So what happens is you have to keep an eye on both of these percentages. Whichever one is the higher, and if you're building a business, it will be your bull side. And again, if this caps out at 200%, then the account's capped out. I've had people make the mistake of thinking they have to wait until both cap out. No, if one of these caps out, that means one side is capped at 200%. Your account is then capped out. So you have to make sure that you're not getting to the 200%. And as I said, I think the best way to do that is keep an eye on what's happening in your account balance. And once you see that you've got enough money each time, then you upgrade rather than just waiting. Now, there are various ways you can do this, of course. You can just wait until your contract is nearing completion, in which case you're taking profits. So it's completely up to you how you want to build a business. You could be taking profits and upgrading, etc. But my advice is, when someone joins, come in at a level you feel comfortable with. And then the game plan is that is your pension. When you put money into a pension, for example, you're putting, say, $300 a month as an example. That money's gone. You've got no access to that money. And you're putting that into a pension every single month, month in, month out, for 30, 40, even 50 years to get a pension at the end of it. So that's money that you can never touch. And every month that money is going away. Whereas with Cashfx, you can start for $300 or $1,000 or whatever, and that's it. So look at that as a pension. Don't worry about, I often see this, how quickly can I get my money back from the business? Well, I mean, you can look at it that way, but it's like, when you put your money into a pension, that money is gone. So think of it that way. Think of it as a pension. So the idea is to get up to the 100K contract as quickly as you can, because if you can get up to the 100K contract, then all of a sudden, you retired yourself effectively. So my view is always just look at it as that's your pension, your $300 or $1,000 or $10,000 or whatever you started with, that is your pension. You're not going to be taking money out of that. You're just going to let it build over time. Now, if you're someone that is a business builder and you want to take money out, that's the other great thing about being a business builder. You can take money out at any stage along the way. I've had someone, literally a conversation with someone the other day. He said, oh, well, the thing about Cashfx is you can't take any money out. Yes, you can. Many of my leaders do that. They take out a lot of money from the business, even as they're going up through the ranks. It just means that they're going to get to the 100K contract a bit slower, but that doesn't matter. If you're building a business, you can take out your commissions coming in from the team and that kind of thing. So it is actually a common misconception that people have, that you can't take money out from Cashfx as you're building. Now, I made a very conscious effort when I went from 300 to 100K contract to take out the minimum amount, but I still took out $30,000 from the business over that period. But I just wanted to get to the 100K contract as quickly as I could, because I knew when I was there, I could take out very serious money after that. And so that was my game plan. But even so, I still took out $30,000. And there are people in my team that are taking out a lot more than that, but it's going to take them a little bit longer to get to the 100K contract, which after all is not the be all and end all. You can stop at any level that you like throughout the ranks at whatever level. But if you're a passive member, a completely passive member, then I recommend that you just forget about that money and let it build over time until you get to the 100K contract before you start taking out any money. So hopefully that has clarified that a bit. So as I say, you just keep an eye on both these percentages here. As I said, if you're a bear member, this is the one that'll be moving. If you're someone that's introducing people, then you'll see this going much, much faster. And therefore, you know, this is the one you've got to keep an eye on. But this is the main one you want to keep out. As soon as you've got enough money here to upgrade to the next level, always allow for the 20% and a little bit more to allow for wallet fees. Then, you know, you can upgrade at that point, and you want to upgrade as quickly as you can as you go along. So that's it. So hopefully that's given you, you know, a good idea on this. One thing I would say, just a couple of things. If you are taking money out of the business, don't do what I call kill the golden goose, particularly if you are a team builder. If you're building a team, you've got people coming in underneath you, you've got commissions coming in, etc. I have seen very occasionally where a member has withdrawn too much money and they haven't allowed for the fact that they're going to have to then renew or upgrade that contract at some stage in the future. So they've withdrawn too much money from the business. So you just have to plan ahead a little bit. So for example, I'm going to be upgrading or sort of renewing my 100K contract probably in mid to late June. So right now I'm saving up $125,000 into my account so that I've got enough money to renew when that happens. So just, you always have to plan a little bit ahead, a little bit sort of money management there, and you know, make sure you're looking after it properly. Is there anything else I should cover on that? I mean, I'm sure we'll, in future training sessions, we'll be doing lots of other things as well. But I think the main thing that I want to cover on the training session is what Ray is going to be talking about now, because this is a brilliant system. It's one of, ever since, you know, I've been in the industry for 20 years, and even very early on in my career, I was always looking for ways to make it easier for people to build the business, because the easier you make it, the more people will build a business, the more successful they'll become. And of course, that's what this business is all about, helping other people to become successful so that you can become successful as well. And one of the biggest challenges is always people picking up the phone. You know, people are often scared to do that. And one of the other problems with picking up the phone is that if you do that, then you're in conversation with the person. And if that person asks a question and you fall into the trap of answering that question, then all of a sudden you're in a world of pain, because one question will lead to another, and then another, and then another. And before you know it, you're doing a full-blown presentation over the phone, which is not the way to build this business. So what you want to do is make sure that you are controlling the conversation. And for most people, that's a very difficult skill set to learn. In addition to that, often we go through things like scripts and stuff. And, you know, and I've seen people use a script. You know, they're talking to their best friend and they're going, "Hello, David, it's Richard here, and I am reading a script." You know, it's come, the guys go, "What are you doing?" You know, that's not the way to do it. So this is why this is such a clever system. Now, I'm not saying don't speak to your friends and contacts. Far from it. If you have the confidence and the different relationships, you know, there's always a variation to the process. But what we've got here is a system that will enable you to enhance what you're doing now. It'll make you much more effective. As Ray will show you, you stay in control the whole time. And it's also a fantastic way to build your cold market as well, which are key areas. So make sure that you watch carefully and you plug yourself into this, but not just yourself, but also all your team, because of course that will then aid their success, which aids you know, your success. So before I bring Ray onto the call, I just want to introduce you to Pat here. Pat is a member of the team. He's doing amazingly with the business. You'd think you're almost doing it full time, aren't you, Pat?
More.
Yeah,
more
exactly. Yeah, fantastic. And you know, see, he's achieved great success, but he actually saw the training last Saturday and has actually incorporated, you know, what he learned. And well, I won't steal his thunder, so I'll pass it over to Pat.
Thank you, Richard. My own name is Pat Brosnan, and I'm here from Ireland. What I do for a living, what I'm doing up to this point was, I'm an online marketing consultant. I specialize in search engine optimization and reputation management for nearly just over 20 years at this stage. Last February, I was introduced to Cashfx by Michael O'Sullivan, and I came on board because I saw the potential here. Everyone's always looking for another income source. You never have all your eggs in one basket, in other words. So I saw this and I saw potential. So I'm recruiting away, and things were going nicely. I actually was spending probably a lot of my time chasing ones that I spoke to previously, like Richard just said there, trying to answer questions that they were asking and really digging a hole for myself. And losing the prospect because they were getting their own idea that this whole thing was just a total scam. So I was on the call last Saturday with Ray, and I was really, really impressed with the system that Ray did. Bearing in mind, I thought I knew a system, and I'm sure there's many of you are the same. But I was really impressed what he has done, and I made a commitment to myself last Saturday. I'm going to implement this one way or the other by the letter. And I said, this man is successful. It must be working. So I started off Monday morning implementing the system and working strictly by his golden rule. You will see all this when he'll be showing to there soon. And as a result, I have now 4 in my business this week. Total coal market. I have 1 in South Africa, 1 in Nigeria, 1 in Liberia, and 1 in India. And up to that point, they were all asking me, what is it? Can you give me a link till I see it? What is it? What's the product? What is it? And I was sticking by the golden rule. If you need to see this, you need to go to this link and you need to be on this live call. And it was actually turning out like a broken record, but I wasn't budging from the script. And as it turned out, I have 4 recruited this week in countries that there was no way I would be after getting these people to come on board with me, and happy to do so. But I need to tell you, the guy from India was a real challenge, because he was actually every day 5, 6, 7 messages. What is it? What is it? What is it? And I just kept replying to him. And in the finish, this was Wednesday, he just said to me, he said, I'm just too busy. And I said, I'm delighted for you, and I wish you well, and that's fine. And obviously he thought I was going to chase him. He came back to me yesterday, and he went on the call at 7 o'clock yesterday evening with Richard, and he signed up later on. So it does work. And I'm actually quite happy to implement it. On another note, I've had several calls this week with the owner, 𝙏𝙝𝙖𝙣𝙠 𝙔𝙤𝙧 and John Kinnear, the marketing director. And a few were saying, well, how did I get in touch with him? Well, actually, I'm on the marketing team now for Cashfx. I'm doing a lot of work on Google and clearing that up and helping him to get more of a presence online. But as I said, I had a few calls with 𝙏𝙗𝙗, and I'll be honest with you guys, I was really, really impressed of what I saw and where this company is going to take us. And they have a plan put together for the next 60 months, which is 5 years, which is good to hear that it's not going to disappear, hopefully. But as I said, it's a company, anything can happen, but you're on the right track. And all I'm going to tell you is what Ray is going to show you. I would really seriously, if you're thinking of really building this, you need to get out your pad and paper and take notes while Ray is explaining, because I was probably just like you. I thought I was doing my way and it was working okay. But if I can recruit 4 people a week around the world, what kind of a business will I have come Christmas? So I wish you well in your endeavors. All right, thank you, Richard.
Thanks very much, Pat. Yeah, great story there. And again, this is why I wanted Pat on the call, because it illustrates what is possible by this, by following the system. Pat wasn't speaking to people, he wasn't chasing people, he was just following the system using the text message system. And I've seen it work firsthand also extremely well for another member of my team, Hazel. I remember in the early days, she was recruiting so many people, and you know, I said, well, you know, what are you actually doing? And one of the first things she said to me, she doesn't talk to anyone. She does it all via text message, this, that, and the other, or on Messenger. She uses that a lot. And again, she was working online through Facebook. And by the way, these are all tools, that you can use. Facebook. We're going to be looking at LinkedIn today, etc., that you can use to actually build your business in the cold market. But you can also use this with your warm market as well, which is another key thing. So again, you're just staying in control with your friends by just sending them a text message. They might respond. You can say, listen, just come and have a look at this. But as I said, I won't steal Ray's thunder here. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Ray. Ray is new to Cashfx. He's been in the business now it's about a month now, isn't it, Ray? Something like that?
Yeah, 40 days today.
40 days today, right. So you went executive in just 24 days, which I think must be nearly a record. Now, Ray, he's been in network marketing industry now for 37 years. He's also a very, very successful businessman in his own right. He runs a multi-million-pound business, in fact, several multi-million-pound businesses to that point. He absolutely loves network marketing. He's been the #1 business builder with 3 companies. He's currently the #1 business builder with the company that he's with at the moment. So he's been with that company for 13 years. Nothing in the industry interested him until he saw Cashfx. He was so blown away by what he saw that he's come into the business. Now, he's a very capable guy, a guy that is very credible and ethical as well, and he won't bring his existing team across to this business, so he's left that there, but he's working pretty well full-time on Cashfx, building it from scratch. You often see leaders come in from other companies, they bring all their team along across, which is absolutely fine. But with Ray, he's building it from scratch, which is quite amazing. And of course, he's had years and years and years of strategies and training and everything else. So he's going to be sharing that experience with you guys. And the system he's come up with is remarkable. As I said, I've always been looking at ways of how we can improve things and this, that, and the other. And it was funny because actually some of my Irish leaders, Donald and Martin, actually commented to me that they were using a text message system. And then I knew, of course, that Hazel had done it, Ray had done it, and I'm seeing these guys recruiting loads and loads of people. And so the system really works. And this is why I wanted to incorporate this in the training for all of you so that you can all benefit. So without further ado, let me just pass you over to Ray so he can share some of his amazing experience with you.
Richard, thank you so much for that amazing introduction. I feel like I'm on, This Is Your Life when you give that. Good afternoon, guys and girls. Wow, what a turnout we have today. About 270 people with us today. And it's my hope that you guys, like Pat, can take something away from what I'm going to share with you today. And grow your business, see some growth in your business this week. And it'd be lovely to perhaps, next week, if we've got a few more people along with Pat that have had some successes with this. I don't profess to know it all. I don't know it all. I've just learned a lot over the years and made a lot of mistakes and taken the education out of those mistakes that I've made. So what I'm about to share with you is a methodology that I've used to build my existing business, my other business, and also to build my Cashfx business. And I absolutely love Cashfx. As Richard said, I've rejected a lot of things over the years. And in fact, I rejected Cashfx 7 times before I got on a call with Richard and actually understood and saw what we've got here, which is a phenomenal opportunity to change people's lives for the better. So what are we going to talk about? I'm just going to share my screen here for a moment. Bear with me, and while I do the technical stuff. So what we're going to talk about, let's just kick that slideshow off. You can see that screen all right, Richard, can you? Yeah, great. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is prospects versus suspects. And listen, before we get into this, I don't mind if you screenshot this. I don't mind at all. In fact, I might even put the presentation up so you can have the presentation. I'm not precious about those things at all. I just want you to be successful. So if you take notes by all means, I believe we're recording this and I will share the presentation with you if you want it. It's no problem. Prospects versus suspects. A lot of people don't understand this, that a prospect is only a suspect until you have a prospect of showing them the opportunity. Until then, you can only suspect that they may take a look. So it's about understanding the difference between a prospect and a suspect. Okay, and once you understand that, it puts you in a much better position to build your business here. So like a detective, everyone on your list is only a name that you wish to interview. And to interview someone means to qualify them in our context, okay? So they're just suspects. So where is your list of suspects? Well, they're in all the social spaces, okay? They're in LinkedIn, they're in Facebook, they're in Instagram, but they're also in WhatsApp, and they're also on email, and they're also on SMS. You know, a lot of people overlook these methodologies, you know, the phone-based methodologies, as I call them, when they're talking about marketing to their, you know, to their target audience, okay? Don't forget SMS. It's still a valid tool. And in fact, SMS has one of the best response rates of all the systems that I use because it's personal. It comes into people's personal space on their phone, and so they tend to react to it more readily than perhaps some of the other methodologies. Now, don't be afraid of any of these spaces. You know, how do you build a suspect list in these spaces? How do you build in LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you know, whatever? I'm going to focus on one of those platforms just to show you how I do it. We're going to expand the training a little bit this week. And a lot of people have asked me, and Richard asked me, said, well, you know, how do you actually build that suspect list that you spoke about last week? So I'm going to spend just 10 minutes showing you in real time how I do that. And I have a thing that I run every morning called a DMO. Write that down. DMO, Daily Method of Operation. These are the things that I do every morning, every day to build my business. And in fact, I do my DMO first because sometimes it's hard to get motivated to do these things. So I think that building your business and promoting your business and looking for new prospects is probably the hardest thing you'll do every day. If you get it out of the way first and get it done in the first hour of your day, the rest of the day is easy. The rest of the day falls into place because you've done the necessary things at the front of the day. And you might just find that by the end of the day, you're dealing with some of the responses and the fallout from taking those positive actions at the front of the day. I'm just going to flick over to LinkedIn here. And I'm going to show you how I build my cold list, okay? And how I then start to convert it into a warm list with some of the things that I'm going to teach you at the back end. So anyone can do this. I'm using LinkedIn, and the thing about LinkedIn as opposed to Facebook is that you tend to find a more professional, higher quality person inside LinkedIn than you do on Facebook. It's got a different vibe to it, a different feeling. So if you understand that, you know, with Facebook, you tend to get a lot of lesser quality people, as I would call them. The professionals, which is what you're looking for, are here, okay? So the word that I'd like you to write down right now is target market, okay? This is a key factor in my marketing. What I don't go for is somebody who appears to me to be, you know, let's say, I don't know, somebody who's interested in crafts and who's interested in selling, you know, £1.50 crafts on the internet. It's not the sort of person I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for a network marketing leader. So how do I find network marketing leaders inside LinkedIn? Well, it's very, very simple if you know how. So like most things, LinkedIn is a search engine. Facebook's a search engine, Twitter's a search engine, Google's a search engine, YouTube's everything's a search engine. And that's why they all have this big bar that says search on the top of them. So what I do is I go up to LinkedIn and I type in the words here, network marketer, okay? And you will find that lots of things come up. So I just press enter and here we are. We get loads of results. But I want to nail this down to people. So I click on people. And immediately you can see I'm being presented with network marketers. So here's Ivan Burnett, network marketer. He's in Belfast now. I don't do a very good Irish accent. I'm very sorry. But he's in Belfast. Steve Dawson, Coventry. Steve Ross, London, Portsmouth, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect with these people. Okay. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply going to connect. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just simply I'm just going to connect. I'm just going to connect. Okay. And I will do this, you know, for 10, 15 minutes a day to add 20 or 30 people onto my connections list. Now, not all of these people will connect. What will happen is they will come and look at my profile, okay? And they will decide for themselves whether or not they want to join and connect with me. Now, one golden rule here is I don't connect with anyone who hasn't taken the time to put their profile photo on here. What a waste of time. If they can't be bothered, neither can I, okay? So I only connect with people who have got a profile photograph and have set up their profiles properly. So, you know, that might be good. Crypto enthusiasts, network marketer, social media. It's just the sort of person that we're looking for. Connect. So I would put on 20 or 30 connections a day. Okay. Now, when somebody who is a network marketer connects with you, LinkedIn does a really interesting thing. Okay. So if we come over here now to my network over here, okay, you can see that I've got 139 connections and 1,008 contacts. Okay. Now, what LinkedIn does, as soon as you connect with somebody, LinkedIn then says to you, hey, well, this person knows all of these people. You might want to connect with those as well. So if you pick up on a good network marketer who's maybe got 1,000 connections, LinkedIn is going to want to show you those 1,000 connections and say, hey, you want to connect with these people? My answer to that is, hell yeah, I want to connect to those people because they're network marketers and you never know. So the second part of my LinkedIn DMO is that I look down here. So I've got an invitation to connect to John Bone here. He's a Forex trading consultant. You know, he might be interested. I'm going to accept his invitation to join. Now, what I then do is I scroll down and I'm looking for some specific words that will appear down here. And there's those words that I'm looking for. More suggestions for you. That's the section that I go to. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is show you my speed dating technique. Okay. For building cold connections. Okay. So I start at the top and I have a left to right, right to left scanning mentality. So I work left to right, right to left, left to right, okay? Left to right, right to left, left to right. And I'm looking for certain words. Okay, so here's the words that I'm looking for. Internet marketer. Well, if somebody knows how to market on the internet, they might be good for this business. And this is important. Make no judgments. We're not qualified to make any judgments about anyone who might be interested in this because we never know their personal circumstances, their financial circumstances. All I'm looking for is keywords. An internet marketer is one of those keywords. So I'll connect. MLM business. Do you think he's in network marketing? Yes, connect. Team Boom Legacy Marketing. Oh yeah, I'll give him a go. Independent business owner. Yep, I'll connect with him. Development manager, affiliate marketer. He might be a good guy. Team leader at focus group, recruitment planner. Again, nobody without a profile thing on them. Always fishing for your success. Looks like he's into fishing. Email marketing looks like a company. I'm not going to go there. Manager, marketer, entrepreneur, caregiver. No, not really. I'm looking for things like affiliates, network marketers, and those sorts of people. And if I can't find any, I just keep going. And you don't have to add hundreds, just 10 or 15 a day may get you where you want to be. And it doesn't take long. Once you get into the habit of doing this, it becomes I find it actually quite therapeutic every day when I do this. And as you keep going, you know, the system will keep adding people in. Internet marketing, yeah, I'll have a go at him, and just keep going. Life vision, you know, he looks like the sort of guy that might just be his own boss. You know, he's obviously a self-starter because he's a founder of something. David Gibbs, MBA, entrepreneur. Okay, he'll be worth a go. Who else? Founder and brand rocket. Mindset and confidence coach. Yeah, I tend to stay away from coaches because they tend to be, you know, team builder. There we go. He's obviously in a network. And sometimes you can see the name of the network marketing company that they're involved with. And, you know, that doesn't matter. at the end of the day, we live in a day and age where people are often involved in more than one network marketing company. So that's how I build my list of connections and contacts. And you'll find that the more network marketers you connect to, the more you will see network marketers appearing in this list, these leads, these more suggestions for you that they go, entrepreneur, he's worth a go, that LinkedIn brings to you. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much more time on that because we're limited for time today, but that's how I build that cold connection list. Then what happens is that eventually, I'll go right up the back here, up the top, eventually you'll see this number increase as those people go, hey, yeah, this guy looks all right, this Ray guy looks all right, I'll connect with him. So you see this number increase, and then what I do is I connect on this, okay? So, for example, here we go, established as arguably as one of the foremost experts on network marketing in the world, okay? Then what I do is I start messaging people, and this is what Pat's been doing this week, and this is what I do. So I'm just going to quickly grab my, bear with me, I'm going to grab my little text message. I think actually I put it on my clipboard. So I'm going to click message, and I'm just going to put a message in here. Well, that's not the message. Let's get the message. There it is. It's up here somewhere. There it is. If I copy that and go back to my PowerPoint, there we are. Let's go back to PowerPoint. There we go. No, that's not it. LinkedIn is what I want. There we are. So all I do is I paste my message in, and I don't even put his name in there, okay? And I send the message. Now, that's the extent of my communication with that guy for today, okay? And I'm going to go back to my presentation now, because I'm going to come back to this in a minute, but I'm going to go back to my presentation because it's now key that you understand the next stage of this, okay? This is what we call the knock. In order to get a door open, you've got to knock it. You've got to have a way to knock that door. And the message that I just pasted into that guy was, hi, put his name there, you can or you don't have to. I hope you're keeping well in these strange times. I just wanted to run something past you. I started an online trading business about a month ago, which is good timing, given what's going on. Would you be open-minded enough to take a look? Very simple concept, generating exceptional returns. Thanks, and then just put your name, okay? So this is a very, very generic, straightforward, non-threatening message that we're sending to this guy. He's saying, hi, hope you're well. I've got something that might interest in you that I've started. The timing's right. Would you be open-minded enough to have a look? Very simple, generating exceptional returns. It's very, very straightforward, okay? But what I sometimes do is I combine that knock on the door with what I call my get out of jail free card, because just as Pat experienced, you know, you're going to get people that are going to ask you questions. So what I do is I put in a get out of jail free card, and I use this whether I'm doing a verbal call or whether I'm doing a text-based call like SMS, email, LinkedIn, Facebook, or whatever. So what I do is I add this bit in green. Hi, I hope you're keeping well in these strange times. I'm in the middle of some important calls and I can't chat, but I have a minute to run something past you. And then the rest of the message is the same. That bit in the green is the get out of jail free card. And I'm going to show you how to apply that as we go through this training. Okay. So the reason we have a get out of jail free card is because whoever you speak to, they just want to say no. That's their default position. They just want to say no. Whatever it is you may offer them, their default position is they want to say no. And to do this, your suspect needs to do something to leverage, it needs something to leverage and use as the excuse to justify the no that they're about to give you, okay? And the only way that they can get the ammunition to justify their no is to execute a very common maneuver that they do all the time, okay? And that maneuver is the Inquisition, okay? And the Inquisition is, well, tell me what it is. What's it about? Who's the company? Is it MLM? Do I have to do anything? Are you already in it? Is it a pyramid? How does it work? Who's the owner? What's the cost? Is it legal? And 1,000,001 other questions that they will fire at you if they can, because what they want you to do is to give them a gun so they can shoot you, basically. That's all they're interested in. They just want to get their no in quick and get the hell out of there. So how we deal with that is with the golden rule. And as Pat said, he applied the golden rule. And I've got a document that details this, and I'll share that with you at the end where you can get that. So the golden rule comes in two parts. One, never tell a prospect the name of the company. Ever. Okay? That's part one of the golden rule. Burn that in your mind. Burn that in your psyche. Okay? The second part of the golden rule is I never tell a prospect anything about the business. Ever. Okay? My only mission when I'm speaking to a new prospect is to steer them so that they attend the online webinar. That's my mission. Nothing else. I'm not interested in answering questions, telling them who the company is. None of that. Okay? So one, never tell a prospect the name of the company ever. Two, never tell a prospect anything about the business ever. Okay? So when you apply the golden rule with the get out of jail free card, it becomes even more powerful. Okay? Here's the message. When they ask me a question, they say, well, what is it? I say, well, as I said, John, I'm really busy right now, and because I'm talking to lots of people, and it'll take too long for me to explain it. Look, the very best way for you to see the benefits of this is to jump on a live call where everything is explained in detail. If I send you the link, would you go on the call? And they might come back and say, whatever, what is it? You've got to control the conversation. And they might say, yes, okay, but is it this, that, or the other? Or can you send me some info? It doesn't matter how they respond. You must control the conversation with the get out of jail free card. Okay? And that's the important point here. What Pat did this week was he controlled the conversation. Okay? He didn't allow the conversation to be controlled by the person asking the questions. And when they say, yes, okay, busy, this, that, the other, I say, as I said, John, look, I'm really busy right now because I'm talking to lots and lots of people and it would take too long for me to explain it. The very best way to see the benefits of this is to jump on a live call where everything is explained in detail. If I send you the link, would you go on the call? Okay? Or you can say, look, I'm going to send you the link. The call time is 7 p.m. in UK. Hope to see you there. Okay? But always go back to the get out of jail free card. I'm really busy right now because I'm talking to lots of people and it will take too long for me to explain it. That's your get out of jail free card, okay? That gets you out of answering their questions or telling them who the company is or telling them your inside leg measurement or whatever they want to know, okay? And you might think this is a little bit rude. It's not. I rarely ever get anyone. I've had it probably once since I started promoting Cashfx and probably about 5 or 6 times in the 13 years that I've been doing my other business. People just accept it because it's a neutral communication platform. It's not rude. It's just you being firm and controlling the conversation. Okay. Can you send me some info? As I said, look, I'm really busy right now. I'm talking to lots of people and that's not how we do things. Okay. I showed you last week how I actually said that to a guy in India. And he said, I said to him, I'm looking for Indian leaders. He said, well, send me some info. Here's my number. I said, that's not how we do things. The very best way to see this is jump on a live call where everything is explained in detail. If I send you the link, would you go on the call? 5 minutes later, he booked himself on the call. Okay, that's all I wanted. So the golden rule and the real world, and this is the actual conversation because I built it into this presentation. I forgot I did that. So he said, I'm looking for a professional to launch my team. Do you know anyone? He said, send me the details. I said, hi, we don't do that. Okay, it's perfectly acceptable to state your case. Okay, it's not rude. It's not you being evasive. It's you just stating the case. And the case is, we don't do that. Because if you're exercising the golden rule, you don't do that. You don't send people information. You don't tell them who the company is. You don't answer questions. We don't do that. We invite people onto a call so they can see the company, the due diligence, how it works. You can book yourself onto a call at my link. If you like what you see, then we can have a discussion how best to approach the Indian market. And that's how I presented it to him. So I told him I'm really busy. I'm talking to a lot of people and that's not how we do things. I told him the best way to get onto the call. And I used a very, very, very powerful method, the quid pro quo method, the if I, would you method, okay? When you combine it with the golden rule and the get out of jail free card, it becomes indomitable, this, okay? The if I, would you method. Now, I'd like to lay claim that I invented if I, would you, but it was this guy here, 𝙏𝙝𝙖𝙣𝙠 𝙔𝙤𝙧. Eric is like Marmite. You either love the guy or you hate the guy. I happen to love the guy. I think he does some amazing stuff. And that link there, if you want to screenshot it, will take you to a 10-minute video where Eric explains how if I would you works and why it works, okay? Why quid pro quo is so powerful and if I would you works in your network marketing business. He says it is the most powerful phrase that he ever came across in his network marketing career. And I tend to agree with him because I've signed up more people using if I would you than any other method when I combine it with golden rule and get out of jail free, okay? So I've got a document called the Golden Rule Explained. So you can download that. We've got this little group files thing here. So there's the address for that. Again, you can screenshot this, do what you like. I'll actually put this presentation up in this folder. There's a folder there called Docs. If you go in there, you will find the Golden Rule Explained and you'll find this presentation, okay? And download the Golden Rule and read it because it explains why it works and how to apply it in more detail, okay? And once you get that in your skin and part of your psyche, and your immediate reaction to any question or any inquisition becomes golden rule, get out of jail, if I would you, it becomes very, very, very powerful and effective for you in your business. Okay, so that's my little part completed. I hope that's been of some use to you guys. And if there's any questions, you can get back to your team members, or if you're in our WhatsApp group, then get in the WhatsApp group. That's for our team, of course. But as I said, I'm going to put this up online where you can reach it. And with that, I'm going to hand back to Richard. And thank you for your time.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant, Ray. So I hope you can see the power of that, guys. It's something that I've known for a long time, that when you're talking to someone, it's all about time. Doing it this way gives you time to think about your response. If you're talking to someone, there is no time to think, and it's very easy for someone just to ask a very quick question and then you make the mistake of answering that question. Because if you answer that one question, that then leads to another question, and then another question, and then another question. And before you know it, you're doing the presentation on over the phone, which is not the way to do the business. Now, those of you that have put people on the calls in the evenings, we get a very high strike rate. I mean, a ridiculously high strike rate, because of the fact that we've got such a world-class business here. This business, there's been no business like this in network marketing history, but people have to understand it. It's very easy to look at Cashfx and think they know what it is. So therefore, it is really important to get them on a proper presentation, because if they come on a proper presentation, you have a very strong chance of them seeing, what the business really is, getting excited by it, and joining your business. So this is a system so that when someone asks a question, if you're talking to them, you have to think on your feet really fast and to try and not answer that question. So that's actually a very difficult skill set. And even the best of us make that mistake. It happens to me all the time. I'm talking to a leader and I make the mistake to mention Cashfx. What do? They go and look online. They just have a cursory glance. They've already made their mind up what they think it is without understanding it at all. And then I can't get them to look at the business, which is very frustrating. And, it's me actually letting them down, because if they looked at the business, they'd come on board and then they'd experience what everyone else is, what an amazing business this is. So I've actually let them down by doing that. So by doing it via this way, you get a question back, but you've got time to now think, right, how am I going to respond to that? So you can take your time and then respond, and you respond correctly along the lines of what Ray was saying there. So this is a brilliant system. You don't have to use it exclusively. It's part of your overall package, but this is a tremendous way of enhancing the number of people that you're personally going to rule. And remember, guys, this is also not just about you. It's about the people in your team. So make sure that even if people had a great turnout here, by the way, guys, well done. But there's going to be lots of people that did not make this call. I'm recording it, by the way. So we don't normally record these, but I've recorded this one, so it will be available. I'll send out the link and stuff. And you've also got the PowerPoint and stuff that you can look through as well. So it's all there for you. So, you know, hopefully you've seen the benefit of this and incorporate this strategy into your business and make sure your team's doing the same and watch your business explode. So thanks very much for listening in today, guys. We've got the call at 2 o'clock today, 2 o'clock UK time, which is going to be the business presentation for today. So again, get your prospects on that, make that one a really good call. And you know, we'll be doing a training call every week. We may vary what we do, we obviously showing, so that we've got different things that we're going to be learning each time. So once again, thanks very much for listening in, and hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And of course, as always, stay safe in these strange times. Thank you.